Here we go. This is my first video, proper video. Anyway, I've done my intro video, which you may not have seen if you've not visited my channel. But this is my first video I'm doing on this channel. So I'm just going to get straight into it. I've got how to sail, points of sail, part 1 of 5. So if you did watch my channel intro, I have zero experience sailing and I want to go and sail the Atlantic Ocean in hopefully the next few years. But yeah, zero experience, so let's get learning, and no better time than the present, is there? So let's crack on. What I would like from anyone that watches, if you do have any tips for me or any advice, anything I've missed, anything else you think I should know that I've not gone over, or anything that I've got wrong, just let me know. I'm only here to learn, so any help is welcome. But let's get cracking. I'm gonna watch it. I'll be writing down and taking notes and stuff like I'm a child, because that's how I learn. And then I will sort of like recap at the end what I think I've learned, and then, like I say, if any of you guys notice that I've got something wrong, then you can tell me. But let's get cracking. Quite loud. I will reference
This training video
everyone that
will help you to understand the different points of
videos I
sailing
use.
that a sailing boat can achieve, and the dynamics of the wind on your boat. In short, what makes your boat move forwards.
See, with this kind of stuff, I have already done a little bit of my own research to figure all this stuff out, because I do like physics. I like learning how things work. So yeah, I have done a little bit of the pre-ground on this.
Sails do not work if you point the boat straight at the wind. They simply flap.
I knew
The
that.
sail will only work if it sits at an angle of more than 45 degrees to where the wind is blowing from.
Yeah. So this is all, like I say, this is all stuff that I knew, but I've not written any of this down or noted it down so that I could do this. So I will do this now. It's going to be really unneat. It's a good job we've got things to make circles, eh? Okay, let's crack on. So we've got
The
45
area where
degrees.
sails don't work is called the no-go zone. You can sail in any other direction apart from this zone. Any point of sailing where the boat has the wind on its left is called port.
But I guess it's 45 degrees. But it's 45 degrees either side of the wind direction, so it's actually a 90-degree area. Unless I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Let me know if that's incorrect, but I feel like that's making sense. Okay.
Port tack, and any point of sailing where the wind is coming from the right-hand side is called starboard tack. It's very important to have an understanding of
Right, one sec. Tax. So I know tacking is when you change from going along sort of that direction to that direction. So starboard tack is obviously just going towards the left-hand side of the boat, which is the starboard side, and port is obviously the other side. Okay, that makes sense.
It's very important to have an understanding of where the wind is blowing from, and it's fundamental to everything that you'll do in the boat. To help you, you can use a masthead burgee, which will point towards the wind. Flags ashore are another indicator. Ripples on the water also blow from where the wind is coming from.
I suppose a lot of this is for dinghy sailing and not sailing that you would have a lot of the instruments that tell you this.
A flapping sail works like a flag and will lie in the same direction that the wind is blowing from.
Yeah.
It's useful to understand how a sail works. If you sail with the wind behind you, it's easy to see what happens. The wind simply pushes you forwards. But how does a boat sail across or towards the wind, like this?
Close reaches
Here,
and
we
stuff.
see a cross-section of a mainsail.
that.
The aerodynamics of a sail work in a similar way to an aircraft wing.
Yep.
The air travelling across the outside edge generates lift, which will blow the boat sideways. By pushing down the centreboard to suit the point of sailing, the sideways slip is reduced and the boat drives forwards through the water.
I'm not going to write this kind of stuff down because I understand the physics in my head, and it's better for it to just stay in my head, I feel. I understand the whole, the concept of like squeezing a watermelon seed and how the forces work against each other. So I'm not going to write that down. I'll just keep that relevant in my brain.
Search the channel for the next section of
Oh, okay. Well, that was very simple.
this video.
I was hoping for more. Okay, let's go. Next episode. Okay.
The closest angle you can sail to the wind is on the edge of the no-go zone. This point of sailing is called close hauled. You should have the sails pulled in tight with the centreboard pushed fully down to prevent side slipping.
Okay, this is perfect. So, the closest to the no-go zone is a close haul. I imagine both sides. Okay, then I'll do some bullet points for how the sails should be in these situations. So close. Okay, so your close haul is sailing towards the wind, and this involves tacking.
The wind. Use if you want to. Close hauled is the point to flap. You're on probing with the tiller to find the pulley down to prevent side slipping, and by
Okay,
probing
great.
with the tiller to find the point where the sails just start to flap, you're on the edge of the no-go zone. Close
Understandable.
hauled is the point of sailing you should use if you want to sail towards the wind.
Yep.
Changing sides is called tacking and is the subject of another video on this site.
Yeah.
Sailing on subsequent close-hauled angles, tacking
Okay.
between them, you'll eventually end up at your upwind destination.
Yep, makes sense.
Together, a series of tacks is called beating.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Search the
I'm just going to do a little star here. A series of tacks equals beating. Or a beating. Cool.
channel for the next section of this video. And if you found this video interesting, please don't forget to like us, as this will allow
Like
us
these
to
guys.
make more. Check out the rest of the channel for
Okay. Reaching. What is reaching then?
the next point of sailing is called a close reach.
Alright, okay.
To arrive here from a close hauled position, simply pull the tiller away from the boom for a short while, raise the centreboard slightly and release the sails to find the point where they just start to flap, and then pull them back in so they stop flapping. Turning slightly away from a close reach, you arrive at a beam reach point of sailing. Here you'll be sailing at 90 degrees to the wind.
So, it's the beam. Beam reach is 90 degrees. Again, I knew a lot of these names. Like I know the next one's a close reach, and then a run, I believe. but I just not got these written down, and I think I needed that for keeping these things in my brain. Physics and stuff I'm fine with, as soon as it comes into like remembering specific names, rubbish, terrible. But yes, beam reach is 90 degrees to the wind. These are going to be the messiest notes you've ever seen, so my apologies for that. But I'm just hoping that by doing this I can show someone that you put a little bit of time and effort into something, that you can actually do it, because what we all want, right? Beam reach.
A beam reach is the best point of sailing for your first sail, as the sails and the boat are easily controlled.
Okay. Easily controlled. That's something we love to hear.
Adjust the sails as before, and you should also raise the centreboard here so it's about halfway up.
That's this thing, I imagine. I assume dinghy specific.
Turning slightly away from a beam reach, you arrive at a broad reach point.
Oh, broad reach, that's the next one. What did I think it was? Close reach. Idiots. Broad reach. Where is it?
Sailing.
Yeah.
Here, you'll be sailing at 120 degrees to the wind. And raise the centreboard so it's about 2/3 up, and let the sails out slightly as before. Search the channel for the next section of this video.
God, these end very quickly, don't they? 1 minute. Right, okay. Part 4 or 5. This is going to be a quick one. So far what we've got, running, sailing away from the wind. Right, okay, so far, just to recap, we've done wind direction, no-go zones and points of sail, starboard tack and port tack. I'll put that, tack, port, tack, some descriptions for close haul and beam reach, and what to do with the sails in the case of a close haul, and the beam reach apparently was easily controlled, so cool.
The next point of sailing is called a training run.
Is it always called a training run? I've heard most people calling it a run. Never heard of training run. Again, is that dinghy specific? Is there a lot of... there's a lot of terminology in sailing altogether, isn't there? So there's different parts of sailing as well.
To arrive here, turn the boat about 20 degrees away from the broad reach position, and you'll be pointing almost directly away from the wind. Release the mainsail so the boom is almost at 90 degrees to the boat.
So it's not a full run?
And the centreboard should be about 3/4 of the way up. This is the best point of sailing if you want to sail with the wind behind you, as there's less of a risk of the boom accidentally flipping across, which is called jibing. However, if you do need to change direction like this, you should watch our video on jibing to see how it's done.
That's a jibe. Ooh, okay. Right, a jibe. I've been hearing that word. So it's like the sail flipping over, but when you're not tacking. Right. I'm gonna put that. Wait, let me just watch more of the video.
The final point of sailing is a dead run.
Okay, so it's not going to get into more of that right now, so I'm going to put the bottom, jibe, and I'm spelling it like it sounds. Main jibes over. Mainsail. I'm just going to say swaps sides when on a run. I'm going to asterisk that as well, just in case that's wrong.
This is when the boat is pointing directly away from the
Okay, so this one is a run,
wind.
directly away from the wind, and then so that's a run, and then the half one was sort of training run.
Learn, this point of sailing is probably best avoided until your wind awareness has developed. It's very easy for the wind
Okay.
to suddenly catch the wrong side of the sail, which can cause the boom to flick across the boat very fast and capsize you. Turning back towards the wind, you can get back to any of the points of sailing by pushing the tiller gently towards the boom, pulling in the sails a little more to stop them flapping, and pushing the centreboard down, until you're on the close hauled point of sailing once more.
I'm guessing the centreboard is a fin. That when you're in a dinghy, because it's so much smaller, you don't need a full one, so you just push that down. The more you need that resistance under the water, and that's why you need the centreboard push fully down in a close haul, because it's giving you most resistance. Again, purely hypothetical.
Search the channel for the next.
Okay. Part 5 of 5. We're nearly there, guys. What we got now? Key learning points. This would be great to sum up.
Key learning points. The no-go zone is an area about 45 degrees either side of where the wind is blowing from.
Genius. Either 45 degrees either side, so it is 90 degrees. I'm happy I was correct there. Awesome. 90 degs. 90 degs. Oh, I hope that's not some sort of slur that I didn't know about.
From. And
Right.
the boat will have no forward drive in this zone.
No forward drive.
Close haul is on the edge of the no-go zone. Sails are pulled in fully and the centreboard is pushed fully down.
Yep. Well, this is all I've noted
Close
down.
reach. Turn 20 degrees away from the close hauled point of sailing.
20
Sails set so
degrees
that-
from close hold. That's the close reach. We didn't even discuss that. Because I said close. Alright. Okay. I'm sure, unless I've missed it, we did not discuss the close reach. Sweet.
They just stop flapping. Raise the centreboard a quarter of the way up. Beam reach is about 90 degrees to the wind. Release the boom so it's approximately 45 degrees over the side of the boat so the sails don't flap. Centreboard should be halfway up. Broad reach is about 120 degrees to the wind, and sails set so they're just not flapping. Centreboard is about 2/3 up. A training run is a further 30 degrees away from a
That's... Oh, I've not been looking at these degrees actually. So, let's go back. I didn't need to write that down, that's quite obvious. Boom.
training run is a further 30 degrees away from a broad reach. Boom is almost 90 degrees to the boat, and centreboard is 3/4 of the way up. Dead run is sailing directly away from the wind. Boom is 90 degrees to the boat, centreboard stays at 3/4 up. You must understand and establish where the wind is blowing from, and adjust your sails and centreboard to suit each point of sailing. Next steps. Watch this video as many times as is necessary to get an understanding of the points of sailing and how to recognise them, and what to do with the sails and centreboard on each point. Then on the water, try to get a good understanding of the wind's direction at all times to establish what point of sailing you should be using. Search the...
Brilliant. So we've come to the end of our first session. Little sum up of what we've got here. So we've got all close hauls and all its degrees, everything that's probably unnecessary, but it's good to know that terminology. What degrees we're running at, what we need the sails at in certain places. Even just learning the stuff about the centreboard for the dinghies, it just gives you a good understanding of the physics involved. And I think that's that's 90% of what sailing is about, right? And then the jibe, that's the main thing. If anyone's got any notes on that, I've got jibe, it's just saying the mainsail swaps sides when on a run. If you've got anything more specific, fantastic. Anything else you want to just teach me, shoot it over. But yeah, that's it from me. Hopefully get another video out next week, and we'll keep learning together. Other than that, sail on. I don't know what we say in the sailing community. Anyway, thank you. Well, thank you so much for watching that, guys. Thank you for staying along with me and learning along as we go. I appreciate all your support. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm not getting any support right now. And then if anyone is wanting to, this is absolute plain wank, this last bit.